At the beginning of the movie, we see an unnamed assassin waking up in a dusty and desolate room opposite to a grandiose hotel. He is patiently waiting for the arrival of a target in the picturesque city of Paris. The killer, tired of the monotony of the task, casually mentions grabbing breakfast from McDonald's. His profession demands a great deal of patience due to the tedious nature of waiting. By the 6th day, the killer receives a crucial ultimatum from his handler: complete the job within the next 24 hours. Fortunately, the target finally appears that same night, accompanied by a woman. The target seems to be a rich man who has come over to the beautiful city to spend the holidays with an escort. The killer quickly sets up his equipment in action and prepares to complete his task to meet the deadline. As the escort engages in a dance with the target near a window, the killer waits for his heartbeat to reach the perfect rate, that is, below 60, before taking the shot. He mentions that this rate is perfect for him to take the target down. The killer holds a pragmatic philosophy, mentioning that he dismisses the notions of luck, karma, or justice. Before each hit, he recites a set of rules that guide his actions. These rules include not trusting anyone, engaging only in paid assignments, prioritizing anticipation over improvisation, avoiding giving the other party an advantage, and, perhaps most importantly, refraining from empathy, which he sees as a weakness. According to the killer, these principles are crucial to achieving success in his line of work. Just when he gets a clear shot of the target, the escort interrupts his plan. He opens fire and ends up killing her instead. This is the first time he has missed a target. Having missed his aim, the assassin not only loses his opportunity to get paid in hefty amounts, but also realizes that the intended victim is now under strict protection. In the next scene, the killer quickly packs his things and rushes out of the rusty building. He hops on his scooter, all the while realizing that the cops are now swarming the hotel. The assassin then stops his scooter and leaves it on the road to avoid any suspicions. Having disposed of his rifles, he goes to a public bathroom, shaves, and changes his appearance. He then heads to the airport to book a flight for the day after. There, he sees a mysterious man in a suit, whom he believes is an assassin just like him. He assumes that the man is sent to kill him. That evening, when he goes to the hotel room, he gets a call from his handler, Hodges. The latter says that he made a grave mistake by not taking down the target. Hearing this, the assassin becomes restless and he is unable to sleep that night. He holds a knife in his hand and sits on a couch. He's afraid that the man from the airport might come over to finish him at any moment. Thankfully, nothing happens that night and the killer safely catches his flight. Returning to his secret hideout in the Dominican Republic, he sees some cigarette butts on the ground and a mysterious footprint. He rightfully realizes that someone was here earlier. The killer then quickly takes out his gun and carefully moves inside his house. After a while, he discovers a scene of chaos. Blood all over the wall of his room with his girlfriend, Magdala, missing. He realizes that she must have been hurt. Soon after, he goes to the hospital where his girlfriend, Magdala, is battered and bruised and lying in the hospital bed. Barely holding on to life, she reassures him that she didn't reveal anything about him to her assaulters. Her protective brother is also present there, and he blames the killer for what happened to her. He then provides crucial information about the assailants, mentioning that there were two people, one male and another female. They had come to eliminate the killer, but when they did not find him, they tried to kill Magdala. Hearing all this, our hero tells the brother not to worry and assures him that he will take care of Magdala from now on. In the next scene, he returns to his house and digs a secret place in the backyard. He unearths a safe that contains a black bag. He then takes out several guns from the bag and goes out to hunt the assailants and avenge his girlfriend's critical condition. Firstly, he goes to the airport to find the cab driver who transported the attackers to his hideout. However, he realizes that all the cabs are of the same color, so there must be a company to manage the vehicles. Therefore, that evening, he goes to the cab management office and sneaks into the main server room. He then ties up the manager there and goes through the computer to list the drivers who had driven from the airport to his hideout area. After a lot of research, he gets a name, Leo, the driver who had taken the attackers to his house. The following morning, he locates Leo and hops inside his vehicle. Moments after, he pulls out his gun and threatens to reveal about his passengers. Leo, held at gunpoint, is compelled to cooperate. Therefore, he discloses vital details. It is revealed that the assailants included a very large man who seemed like he needed medical attention because of his weight, and a middle-aged woman with a distinctive appearance. She had white-colored hair. They had Leo wait for an hour at the house and returned with stains of blood in their clothes before taking them back to the airport. Despite the man bleeding from his leg, Leo fulfilled their request. After getting all the information he wanted, the killer dispatches Leo with a single, lethal shot to the head. This is because he doesn't want to leave any tailing suspicions behind him. The next destination for the killer is New Orleans, a city that holds significance for him. This is where his journey diverged from the path of becoming a successful lawyer to that of a ruthless assassin. The scene swiftly cuts to a storage room, where the killer goes through some files and finds what he's looking for, a recycler's badge. The following morning, he dresses up as a garbage collector and gets access to Hodges' office. There, he encounters the handler's assistant, Dolores, and forces her to take him to Hodges. Upon arriving at the man's room, the killer nails down 2 laptops on the table which contain crucial client information. He then uses the nail gun on his handler, expecting the old man to last long enough to reveal the identities of those who harmed his girlfriend. Unfortunately, Hodges succumbs too quickly, leaving Dolores as the sole source of information. Dolores is then forced to take the killer to her home. She provides the required information about the assailant in written form. She knows that she will be killed too, so she pleads with the killer to leave evidence of her demise so that her children can claim the insurance. In a rare glimpse of humanity, the killer hesitates before abruptly ending Dolores' life. He instead snaps her neck and pushes her down the stairs, making it appear like a tragic accident. It certainly ensures financial security for her children. Having read the information given by Dolores, the killer ventures to Florida to confront the big guy responsible for assaulting his girlfriend. Apparently, this assailant is nicknamed the Brute due to his massive size and exuberant energy. The killer follows the Brute for a couple of days and learns of his daily routine. One night, he finally decides to kill him. He sneaks into the Brute's house where he encounters a fierce pit bull. The killer then puts some sleeping medicine in the dog's food and feeds it, causing the dog to fall asleep quickly. Moments after, he enters the Brute's apartment where the assailant is already waiting for him. Following this, a deadly fight ensues between the two, with both of them going hammer and tongs at each other. But in the end, it is our killer who emerges victorious as he gets a hold of a gun and shoots the Brute dead. Before leaving, the killer sets ablaze the Brute's expansive beachfront residence in order to make the murder look like another accident. Moving on, he goes to a location where he finally encounters the female assailant. She is called the Expert by everyone. The killer approaches her at a restaurant where she holds regular meetings with her acquaintance. Despite being aware of the impending death, the Expert remains composed, even displaying a sense of humor. She jokes about a bear and a hunter, serving as a metaphor for the killer's self-destructive path in pursuing this deeply personal vendetta. However, our hero is in no mood to entertain her. They then walk by a canal where the killer prepares to shoot the woman. But before he can do so, he pretends to trip in the stairs and asks for assistance like a helpless lady. However, in a swift and detailed shot, the killer shoots her in the head, finally killing her. It's then revealed that she was intending to attack him with a knife and make a desperate escape. In the next scene, our protagonist journeys to Chicago to confront the orchestrator of the entire affair, a wealthy client named Claiborne. Upon reaching his lavish apartment, the atmosphere is tense as the wealthy client initially mistakes him for a robber. But once he realizes that the man is the killer, Claiborne apologizes for the unintended collateral damage that unfolded. He admits that Hodges was the one who proposed the elimination of loose ends. That is, to kill our protagonist without fully grasping the consequences. Claiborne, who clearly seems to have not known about the whole situation, unknowingly consented to Hodges' plans, resulting in the tragic fate of the killer's girlfriend. In a surprising turn, the killer chooses to believe the billionaire's account and decides to let him go. However, he does issue a stern warning to Claiborne. He cautions that any future attempts to harm him or his loved ones would be met with a painful demise. The final scene of the whole movie shows the killer returning to his home in the Dominican Republic, finding solace in the arms of his now almost fully recovered girlfriend. In a reflective voiceover, he contemplates the nature of his profession, emphasizing the importance of blending in and not standing out. He also shares a perspective on fate, dismissing it as a mere placebo. According to him, life unfolds along the paths we carve, not dictated by some predetermined destiny. Despite his apparent freedom to choose his course and be with his girlfriend, there's an underlying sense that the allure of his work may pull him back sooner than later.